Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar today. I am here with Professor Moscato and Tania Gentil, who's a current student in the program in finance. So hello to the both of you.
Hello, nice to be with you.
I'm Mathilde and I'm part of the admission team. So today we have a specific webinar where we will discuss the program itself, but also a perspective of a female student attending a webinar in master's in finance. At the end of the webinar, you will be able to ask your questions. So feel free to write them down in the chat and we will be happy to answer them for you. And Gregory, Tania, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. As often when I start such webinars, one of the first questions we ask is why you should even consider doing a master's in finance, why what you should expect to find in a master's in finance. So instead of me telling you for once what I think should be a great master and what you should have it, I'd like instead to ask Tania why she chose to do a master's in finance, and then specifically why she chose to do it at IUM.
Yes, of course. Very simply, before I was living in China for almost 6 years. So I had a very international background, and then I had the opportunity to come to Monaco to do 2 internships, so at CMB Monaco and then at Edmond Rothschild. And I knew that I wanted a program that was very connected to the world of finance, like the finance industry. And I knew that because one of my mentor did her studies here, she did her master's. So she recommended me the program. And I knew that IUM had a strong international reputation, that the program was going to be connected also with real finance. And I knew also that Monaco was a small place, but that it has a huge concentration of finance professionals, and that I was going to have a great network, a great structure, and also, just simply exposure to professionals here at IUM. So I decided to join, and for the master's in finance, I chose specifically the hedge funds specialization. And yeah, I would say that IUM really both has like the technical overview and the real industry concentration.
Thank you very much. In fact, you're pointing to a very important a part of the program, because it's a typical comment we have from so many programs. We have students who come and say, well, it was really good, but it was very theoretical. So I was wondering, from your perspective, would you say that the program is more theoretical, is it more practical, a bit of both? What was your experience with that?
For my experience, so I feel that it was very much a mix of both. To be honest, I definitely we have a strong academic foundation within the courses that we do here with the professors. But we also have that very practical foundation, because I mean the teachers that we have are professionals directly coming from the finance industries. There are people that come from banking, hedge funds, family offices. So they know how to teach us the real life experiences. And we go to the board, they send us to the board and they say, okay, let's just practice. Like, for example, you're the client, you have to manage the client's portfolio. How do you do it? Like, so it's very much interesting. In terms of the classes, we have a lot of practice, but also in terms of in the school in general, we have a lot of practice. Like, for example, the career week that we had, we were able to practice for internship interviews. Also the events, the meeting events that we do a lot of networking. So it's also preparation, practical skills that we can gain. So I'd definitely say that they're both parts, technical and practical. Yeah.
Could you, I mean, I don't know if you have something in mind, but maybe could you give us an example or two of a specific work or a case study or something that struck you, something
Yes.
you found was particularly relevant, for example?
Yes, so I remember we did this work. It was a trading competition in the forex exchange class that we had.
Okay.
So it was very nice to do this because basically the teacher told us, okay, you have 1 month to make the most profit that you can, and we were by teams. So we were able to trade foreign exchange and metals. So this as well is a very practical, I mean, real life example. And it was very good for me because I've never done trading before, and it now having an internship at Edmond Rothschild in the trading
Here
place,
you go. Here you go. So it
I
did
it
matter.
will be helpful.
All right. All right.
Yes.
More generally, because you're mentioning those professors and other industry professionals, um, how will you characterize your connection with them and your ability to interact with them throughout the program?
With
Give us a
with the
bit,
teachers.
I don't know, both teachers and maybe in some other events. You pointed to a couple
Yes.
already, but
Of course. Well, first of all, as I mentioned, we have the career week, which was really helpful. So during the whole week, we have professionals coming from the outside, presenting, their family offices, their banks, what they do exactly. And then this gives us really the opportunity to take a little bit of time with them at the end, get their contacts, maybe talk a little bit more. I know that I've had contacts with people that helped me, not getting an internship or anything, but just really life advices, how to get into your professional life. And I think it's very insightful. As for the teachers, as I mentioned, they also come from very different backgrounds, different banks, industries, and you can always talk to them. They come to teach us, and then you can always ask them any questions because they know what's the real life out there, if I can say. So they will give you the best advices. And I think that they would really give you the best advices because they know so the theoretical part, which they are teaching us, but then also what's happening in real life, and then lastly also the networking events. There is a lot throughout the year. I think that anybody should take the chance to go for it. I know that it was a little bit hard for me at first, I will not lie. It's just that first
what
couple
did you
moments.
find challenging at first?
It's just that first couple of moments that you have to go there and just shake the hand and be like, "Hi, my name is Tanya."
Indeed,
But then
indeed.
once this is done, I mean, everyone is really nice, helpful, and you can meet really amazing people.
Um, I'd like to maybe step a bit away from just the program itself, and I'd like to talk about more about the surrounding topic of why we're having this today, which is a discussion about finance and more specifically about women in finance, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I was wondering if you could share with us to what extent, the reason that led you to choose even finance as a field. I was wondering if maybe you had some hesitation, if this was, I don't know, if you had preconceived ideas about it or
Mhm.
fears maybe to begin with.
I would say that no. I was always attracted to competitive environments. I feel like I grew up with the mindset of, anything can be possible because of my father, who was
Yeah, sure.
world Olympic and medalist Olympic in Taekwondo, and he always told me this. So I feel like I just never thought about people just telling me that something is impossible or um, yeah, I wouldn't let this fear not make me go through my goals. And especially, I feel also like the international experiences that I've had helped me to build confidence because when you're alone in a country, you have to figure things out. I mean, you're there and you have to figure out the how to deal with the language, papers, everything. So I always felt very independent and confident in that sense. So I never really hesitated, but yeah, I feel like being a woman in this field is something that I am proud of becoming, at least.
Very nice. And would you say, I mean, again, it's a bit probably a bit challenging from your perspective because you're literally starting your career, but
Yeah.
from your perception of your those initial internships in particular, how do you look at the makeup of finance professionals in terms of a gender balance, and do you perceive any particular challenges that you find are still out there? I mean, we heard a long time ago, that it was a very male dominated. Is it still the case from your perspective, at least from what you've seen? And how do
Yes.
you view that?
Of course, I had a lot of internships already, and five of them I think were in finance. So I do have experience, and I have had challenges as a woman in this field. Definitely, I think it's a very competitive field, which is dominated by men mostly. So sometimes women need to really step up their game and prove themselves faster, maybe than men in general. I've faced difficulties professionally, but I feel like challenges really helped me to build this confidence and resilience that I have now. And I've learned that the most important thing is professionalism and communication to me because when I get into an internship, whatever scenario, whatever case I might face, in my head I think I need to stay professional in the way that I act and that I talk, and I need to communicate if something is wrong because then it just builds up and you let people step all over you. And I feel like as a woman, you do need to push a little harder on those 2 points. But challenges exist, but I feel like they should motivate women more than discourage them. And I also feel like women have a lot to offer in the finance industry. They bring strengths such as precision, being attention to detail, being meticulous, or also this emotional intelligence that we can bring. So every challenge really, yeah, helped me to grow professionally today.
In fact, how is your situation within the Masters in Finance in terms of balance of gender? Would say this is a caricature of what we still see in the industry, or is there some improvement there as well?
It is sort of the same as in the industry. I mean, as I said, it's to me, it's either you get in complete competition with the men and you go up front and you show them, or you do whatever you want in the side, but you do need to realize that communication, I mean, if there's something happening, you have to go out there and say something, which is harder than you might think it'd be. But also, I think that the situation is improving because I think it's 53% of the cohort, which is in finances, are women today.
All right.
So I think there's definitely an evolution here, which is a good sign. And I see some of my classmates who do not let people step on them, so I'm very proud of them.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes,
What you're telling me is that soon, I mean, within a few years, we'll have to do men in finance type of webinar to try to help them, keep up
exactly.
with women,
You
going
might
ahead
have
and
to. You might have
overtaking
to.
them. Yeah, well, that would
Yeah.
be very nice, very nice. Thank you so much. Um, I'd like also to maybe spend some time with you on maybe a very personal view on the program itself.
Yeah.
For example, since you've joined the program at IUM, the Masters in Finance,
Mhm.
did you enjoy the most? What are you maybe the most proud of so far that you've accomplished in those past 3 months?
A lot of things. First, I think just talking today about women in finance publicly is something that I would have never done before IUM. No, I'm very proud of since I joined the school of just stepping out of my comfort zone, I would say. I was very hard for me at the beginning. I've never done finance courses before, but with hard work, I mean, everything is possible. And I'm very proud of just the journey that I've done here at IUM. And of course, I mean, the teachers helped me a lot also. So I'm very grateful. And I really feel like now I've built this confidence of just going out there in the financial world and I could do anything because I have the basis. I have a good understanding. I have network because of the networking events. So I feel very confident now.
Wow. So would you say this is how this master probably changed you the most? I mean, change you at least help you
Yeah.
probably affirm some dimensions which are probably already inside you. Are there other dimensions that you feel have positively been impacted also by the program?
You mean for my
I mean,
professional life?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it helped me mostly to structure my ambitions, I would say.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, the structure that you have of your professional path always evolves, of course. But here I feel like I'm very more mature professionally, if I can say.
Oh, nice.
I've learned a lot and I feel like I've gained the strength from the network also mostly. And I mean, being surrounded by ambitious students in general also boosts you up naturally. So you're here with people who want to succeed in finance, and they're passionate about it. They talk about it during breaks. They do like personal businesses. It's really engaging in that sense, I would say. So, and also I have a better understanding of just the financial industry in general because I came here, as I said, with no like knowledge, if I can say that. I did a
Sure.
business major, business bachelor and master before coming here. So it helped me in a lot of way to build my confidence.
Very good.
Yeah.
You mentioned it several times, and I was wondering because you mentioned how it helped you structure your career path. Do you
Mhm.
have a clear idea of your own career path, and could you share that with us, maybe?
I mean, as I mentioned, it always evolves, of course. But it's funny because I always wanted to be a trader for my whole life. And then after doing internships, I was seeing them sitting all day, and I was taking breaks every hour to talk with bankers, and the bankers told me, "You want to be a trader?" I don't think so. So here, coming at IUM, I directly got an idea of all the jobs that I could be doing also because I got that knowledge and I knew that I wanted something with the market side and also the client side. So now I'm thinking doing trading at first to sort of have this knowledge of all the financial products and then building up my career as a investment manager or portfolio manager, maybe in a family office, hedge fund, bank,
All
whatever it
right.
is. But yeah.
Very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
Thank
Um,
you for inviting me.
of course, of course. Mathilde, do we have maybe from our audience maybe some
Yeah.
extra questions? I mean, I know we've covered a lot, but still, never know.
Yeah, we do have a few questions.
Okay.
Some are for Tanya, I would say, because it's more of the student life, but some are for the both of you. So the
Okay.
first one that we have is someone asking if it's possible to join the program without studying finance. So Tanya, you mentioned that you did not study finance before. So maybe
Yeah,
you can give us your feedback on how hard or not it was to
of
join the
course.
program. And Gregory, maybe your point of view as a program
Sure.
director.
Of course. I would say definitely. I mean, I'm the example here, but I also know a lot of students here who come from very different backgrounds. Joining the finance program, you just have to know that it's complicated. It's not easy. Like just tell yourself that you'll forget about yourself for here. You really need to just work on the difficulties that you have. And then eventually, I will say that it gets easier around December when you get the grip of really what finance is, the concepts, the key concepts. It comes back, even though if it's a different course content or a different perspective, but it does come back that sort of same ideas, and you get a more just an understanding of what it is in general. And now I feel very much more confident just going to classes because I understand better. But it was not the case at the beginning. I was very much lost, but it's again, professors help you, people here, the students help you. Some of them have done finance and they've been helping me a lot. So, no worries.
Yeah, indeed, we do welcome quite a number of students with non-financial background. Some come from law degrees or engineering with literally zero exposure. For those who really have no exposure whatsoever, not even to the basics, they have to do prep programs before entering the program because otherwise, starting in September from like a blank slate is the mountain too high, and then it can get overly painful, even with extra motivation. But yeah, we've had very much success sometimes in through that combination of students who come with already have a background also and helping those others who are tagging along initially, and then depending of the I guess the your ability to work, your resilience, and many other factors is going to allow you to digest a lot of the material within the first few months before you get into your specialization. By the time you get to your specialization, you need to have like as a solid foundation as possible, because then, well, it is assumed that you're ready to rock and fly.
Thank you. The second question is for Tanya, which is how did you find your internship? So was it through your contacts, the contact of the school, search? How did you find it?
I found it because I initially did my internship at Edmond Rothschild last year in the Treasury Department. And I went back to the offices with my CV in hand, and I knew the teams, and as I said, I was talking with a lot of people there. So I just said, "Hey, I'm looking for an internship. Just if you have something for me, think about me." And eventually, it worked. But I also know that during the career week, I've had a an opportunity also for another internship, which was in a family office. So it really, I mean, it depends. Most people find it from the career week, I think. A lot of students that I know, they found it through this week. But for me, it was really just about my previous experiences in that case.
Definitely networking and keeping
Oh,
contact
yes.
is important.
Yes, definitely. I mean, very
And
important.
second part of the question is, can you tell us more about the position you secured at Edmond Rothschild
Now,
for your
yeah.
internship? Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to work with the portfolio managers at Edmond Rothschild, and all the products that they're going to ask me to pass on the market, I will do it. It's mostly structured products, bonds, equities, and it's going to be mainly this. So yeah, I
I
don't know if that
so
answered well the question.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
yeah.
Now someone is asking if you have any tips for students starting the program. And I think it comes from someone starting in September 26, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Any tips? I would say, well, as we mentioned, to have this sort of if you don't come from a financial background, prepare yourself a little bit before the masters. If you do, then I would say that just definitely attend any sort of networking propositions, opportunities that you will have here. Just take advantage of everything that is proposed for by the school because it's really great. I mean, I've never had this sort of experience where I would really put myself out there and see results such as here at IUM. It's not just telling you, okay, there's this event, you can join, and then there's nobody there. Like, no, there's everybody, even Mr. Moscato is there and helps you to just go out there and talk to people. And you can very much get the best out of these events. So I would definitely say to do that. Also, I know that there's a lot of groups like the entrepreneurship, finance, there's sports, there's everything. And I would suggest to definitely enter those groups in the beginning because it makes you just have more connections. It makes it easier for you to get through the beginning and sort of get to know people. Yeah. And as for the classes, I would say to don't let anything slide. Like you really need every class is important. Even if you just pass, don't pass to pass. Just really try to understand every concept because you can't make it through the year if you just want to pass the exam and say, okay, I passed it, so it's fine. No, really like try to grasp and understand each concept that will the professor will talk about.
Okay,
Very
well
interesting
noted.
set of advice, right? Um, if I may go really in the direction Tanya was suggesting with one addition. So Tanya mentioned the Students Club and the whole experience that you want. I often say that, in fact, in some of my interviews with applicants, I say, look, one of the key skills at the beginning of the year that is the most important is time management because you want it all. You don't want just to study, just to prepare for some exams. You really want deep knowledge, which takes already quite a lot of time. But you also want to attend the events, to go to the CEO series or whatnot, networking cocktail parties. Yes, they're lighter, but they're not useless. Quite the opposite. They make a very rich experience. And to get it all, well, you need to be super organized and quite disciplined. But then it makes the experience completely different. Which maybe if I'm adding just one piece of advice, which Tanya actually already hinted, um, connect with your team, with your friends and colleagues, because you want to be surrounded and learning also from them because they come from so many different backgrounds, different experience, some with big experience in finance as well. So sometimes there's a lot for you to also learn through that. And also simply because it makes it much nicer throughout the year to feel that you have your friends with you and a group of colleagues where you're happy to meet every day, at school. It makes a big difference in the end.
Yeah. And Tanya, are you part of any groups or societies, clubs?
Yes, I'm part of the Entrepreneurship and Finance Society.
And what are those clubs about? Like, what do you do with them? And are
There's
you just
different.
a member or are you part of the board?
Oh no, I'm just in a member. Yeah.
Well, just, it's already
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, I'm not part of the board. So what do they do? They mostly do networking events also. I know that they did also this trading competition, but I wasn't doing it for whatever reason. I don't know. They did this trading competition, a lot of networking events, building like business building sort of how can I say that? Conferences like meetings between teams. Yeah, mostly.
They invite guest lecturers, to talk to you also
Yeah.
about some subjects, I would imagine.
so
Sure.
extra networking.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, it also helps.
And then you have also students club that do different things like sports and things like that. So if, that's
There's
another
everything.
way
There's
to.
arts. Sports, yes.
Yeah, I invite everyone who wants more information about clubs to join us on Instagram. I think they share a lot about what they do, every type of club society we have. I think we have one last question, which is maybe a bit more for you, Gregory, but Tanya can give her point of view on her interview. But the question is, what is the interview about? Is it technical? What is discussed during the interview, the admission interview?
Alors, the admission interview is not a technical interview. We don't compute stuff. We don't, this is not the goal. By the moment you are to this interview, that means that either we feel you have the necessary technical background, or that whatever you've done before is going to allow you to do some prep and adapt for that. So it's not about, let's compute some bond pricing or anything like that. No. It's really the main focus is on your personality, on your perception of, I would say, your own career path, right? Why you want to do a master's in finance? What does it make sense to you? And then investigating some of the first of your understanding of the program, what we do, what we don't do. So it's also a time, for example, of exchange where typically the applicants can ask me any question about IUM, the program, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's also a way to share tips on preparation and discussion about, again, it's a way to quickly align. Do you have a clear idea about what you want to do? How you intend to go about it? What do we do in the program? How do you want to prepare for that as well? Sometimes it can be also discussions about specific dimensions of the programs to make sure also it's a good fit, because beyond the technical background, there's also personality fit. It is a very intense program. Let's be, very honest. I mean, I think this is one of the first things Tanya actually mentioned from the beginning is you needed some form of resilience because it is pretty intense. This is also what I'm really focusing on a lot is beyond just a motivation or stated motivation to try to understand more finely, what are the core drivers? Why do you really want to do that to yourself, right? Because it's about, you're about to do 10, 12 or plus hours per day of finance. So if you don't enjoy it, why, right? So, and then you're about to face then a very competitive industry. So do you know why you're even trying to do that? So this is also where we're trying to, because it's about then making sure that whatever group we're creating is also a mix of, yes, very different people, but also people that to a certain extent have taken also the time to think about themselves, to think about what they want to do, why they want to do it. So I'm also digging on that a lot. This is fundamental, right? Because then we put them together. So we need to have people who also are able to help others or to get, from others a lot as well. And so the more you've thought about it, the more you've started to reproject yourself in a mature manner, I guess. Well, the more prepared you're going to be and the more you're going to learn from the beginning of the year. So yeah, a lot of the interview is going to be a big focal on you as an individual, right? And your relationship to finance and therefore your decisions and the reason behind those decisions.
Okay, great. And Tanya, I don't know if you have anything to share or if you agree, if it was like this for your interview.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to say mostly just if you have a goal, like just a goal that you want to achieve, if you know where you're going, if you know why you're doing it. That was mostly what Mr. Moscato asked me during the interview. So yeah, I don't have anything much to add to this.
Sure. In general, it's a very important exercise because it's a bit of a soul searching, before you even start your program, is to re-ask yourself the difficult questions sometimes about, hey, by the way, what is important for me, what are my values, how choosing, for example, IUM or a master's in finance is the right way to build my life. Because it is a way to build your life. It is a stepstone for the next steps. Master's degree is just a starting point to do something, right? So it needs to be a choice that is also well connected with like a bigger plan. And even if sometimes you don't know exactly what you want to do, at least to know why you're trying to go in a particular direction, right? Maybe you don't know what in finance, but to have thought about why finance and why, what you hope to gain out of it, and yeah, how is this going to be good for you ultimately, as an individual, right?
Great, thank you. I think we are done with all the questions. So
Good.
thank you to the both of you. It was a super interesting conversation. Tanya, we wish you all the best for your exams,
Thank you very much.
internship, and we
Thank
hope
you
to have
for
you back
inviting me also
here in a few
today.
years to talk about your career.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yes. Thank you for today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Tanya.
You're
It was a
welcome.
real
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And thank you all for attending this webinar. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Thank you.